You've achieved most of the things you once longed for, and yet there's still this emptiness inside. Marcus Aurelius, Rome's most powerful emperor, spent his nights not in celebration or indulgence, but alone, quietly reflecting on death, fear, and how to master the mind. Why would someone with the power to command an empire spend his energy trying to govern himself? Because the greatest power isn't control over others, it's control over yourself. What follows are 5 timeless Stoic principles that completely transformed how I deal with pain, failure, and uncertainty. These aren't just quotes, they're anchors. And at one point in my life, they pulled me out of anxiety, stress, and a sense of deep hopelessness. This isn't a lecture. It's something more honest than that. It's the story of how ancient wisdom helped me find calm in a world that rarely slows down. I used to be the kind of person who reacted to everything. One bad day and I'd spiral. Anger, worry, overthinking, it ruled my life. Then one day, I came across a line by Epictetus. It didn't just shift my mindset, it changed how I live. If you're looking for a little stillness in all this noise, maybe these ideas will help you too. Let's begin with the first truth that helped me reclaim my peace. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Let's begin with the first truth that helped me reclaim my peace. A lesson I learned the hard way. I used to think, if I just worked hard enough, was kind enough, smart enough, then life would go smoothly. Career? Check. Relationships? Check. Money? Security? All good. But life doesn't follow that script. One day, I got a call from my boss, the same one who used to say I was critical to the team. She let me go. Downsizing, they said. No apology, no warning, no second chance. I was stunned, hurt, angry. But the worst part? I felt completely out of control. I began to question everything, even myself. That night, I stumbled upon a passage from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Here was a man who ruled armies, commanded nations, yet wrote about mastering his own mind. He understood something most of us forget, that real power isn't about changing what happens, it's about how you respond. Over the next few months, I started practicing that. I stopped trying to control everything around me and started observing how I was reacting to it. I began journaling each night, just like Marcus did. Whenever I felt anxiety creeping in or anger rising up, I'd pause and ask, is this something I can control? If it wasn't, I let it go. If it was, I acted. But I didn't obsess over the outcome. And somewhere along the way, I realized this: no one can take away your inner peace unless you hand it to them. I can't calm every storm, but I can learn to sail my own ship. And that's where the real strength is. You have power over your mind, not outside events. This isn't just something to read. It's something to live. But not all pain comes from the outside. Some of it, we create ourselves, without even knowing. I used to believe that loving someone fully was the best thing you could do. That being honest, being loyal, would protect you from heartache. I was wrong. One day, I found out someone I deeply trusted, someone I loved, had betrayed me. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. They threw away a connection I thought we'd built. I fell apart, stopped eating, couldn't sleep. Everything I once cared about just faded. My mind was consumed with one question: how could they do this to me? And then Stoicism found me again. I read a quote from Epictetus: a man who had once been a slave, beaten, humiliated, broken physically, but never broken in spirit. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. At first, I scoffed. Easy for him to say, I thought. He doesn't know what betrayal feels like. But then I read it again. He wasn't denying pain. He was drawing a line between what hurts us and how we carry that hurt. And I started to look inward. I couldn't change what happened. I couldn't make them regret it. But I could choose how I was going to live from this moment on. I started practicing what I now call emotional pause. When the urge to react came, especially with anger or pain, I asked myself, will this response move me forward or keep me stuck? And you know what? The first time I didn't send that angry message. That silence felt like the first breath of freedom I'd taken in months. People will hurt you, but only you decide if you'll carry that hurt or release it. Being hurt is inevitable. Suffering from it, that's a choice. You don't have to forgive right away. You don't have to pretend you're okay. But you always have the power to rise above. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Remember that. Because sometimes your reaction is your shield. Then came a phone call that changed how I saw time. Forever. And it made me face a truth I had long ignored. Have you ever spent an entire evening scrolling through your phone only to realize you have no idea why? Ever wake up and feel like yesterday never really ended? That was me, living in a loop. Wake up, work, stress, sleep, repeat. And I kept telling myself, one day when things calm down, I'll really start living. But that one day never came. Then one morning, I got the call. A friend, someone I'd known since college, had passed away, just 33 years old. A sudden stroke, no warning, no goodbyes. I froze. Because it wasn't just his death I was grieving. It was the realization that we're all slowly dying, every single day. In that silence, I turned to Stoicism again, and this time, it was Seneca who woke me up. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. That line hit me harder than any motivational quote ever could. It's not that life is short, it's that we spend too much of it on things that don't matter. We think we have time, but every time we procrastinate, every time we say, not now, we trade away the only thing we can never get back. I started practicing something called memento mori. Remember you will die. Not to be morbid, but to live with urgency and presence. Each morning I began asking, if today was the last time I did this, would I still do it this way? I started saying thank you more often. Stopped saying yes to things that drained me. And perhaps most importantly, I started living like time was something sacred. You don't need to know when you'll die, but you do need to live like tomorrow isn't guaranteed. And strangely, when you do, everything starts to matter more. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Live today like it counts, because it does. Sometimes it's not the words that hurt, but the weight we give them. And that day, I realized, maybe I gave away too much of myself. Once I posted a simple, positive video online. Within hours, the comments poured in. Idiot. Who do you think you are? Telling people how to live. Delete your channel, please. At first, I was furious. My heart pounded. My hands shook. I wanted to respond to every single insult. Then I remembered something Epictetus wrote. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit. He wasn't saying, "Don't feel anything." He was saying, "If someone can push your buttons, maybe you gave them the keyboard." So I stepped back, turned off my screen, breathed, and I realized none of those words could touch me unless I let them. Epictetus, after all, had been a slave, beaten, humiliated. When asked how he handled such cruelty, he replied, "They can hurt my body, but not my mind, not unless I let them." From that day, I began training my thoughts like a muscle. When someone insulted me, I stopped asking, "Why did they say that?" and started asking, "Is this worth my peace?" I didn't suppress emotion. I just stopped letting it steer the wheel. I began choosing my response instead of reacting by default. In a world obsessed with being loud, offended, and constantly right, sometimes calm is the greatest rebellion. And then you realize, people may try to hurt you, but only you decide whether you hold on to that pain or return it to where it came from. If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit. Next time someone tries to pull you into the chaos, smile. Because you know the truth. They don't get that power unless you give it to them. I thought I was doing everything right, but the more I chased happiness, the more it ran from me. We're told from a young age to chase happiness. Buy this, achieve that, be liked, be loved, and yet the more we chase it, the more tired we become. I tried everything to be happy, worked overtime for that promotion, bent over backwards to please everyone, put on a smile when inside I was falling apart, and yet I felt empty. Then I found another quote from Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. The problem isn't always what's happening. The problem is how we define what should make us happy and what should make us hurt. Stoics didn't chase happiness the way modern culture tells us to. They didn't look for fleeting joy. They trained for inner resilience, to stand firm when the world shakes. And when I stopped chasing happiness, ironically, I started living more honestly. I let myself feel sadness without drowning in it, disappointment without blaming the world. And I learned to rise, not because anyone clapped, but because I chose to. Happiness isn't the goal. It's the quiet reward of living with strength and truth. Eventually, I realized happiness comes and goes, but clarity, self-control, inner strength, those are the companions that never leave. If you are distressed, it's not the world, it's your thoughts. Change the way you think, and you'll change how you experience everything. We've just walked through 5 Stoic truths that changed how I live. And if you carry even one of them, it might change your life too. You can't control the world, only your mind. You can't avoid pain, but you can shape your response. You're dying each day, so stop wasting time. No one can hurt you unless you allow it. Happiness isn't the goal, inner strength is. Maybe you won't remember every quote, but if there's one thing I hope stays with you, it's this. Peace doesn't come from the outside world. It begins with you, your thoughts, your choices, your awareness. So let me ask you this. Of all these truths, which one struck you the hardest? Was it the reminder of your limited time, the way you react to hurt, or the quiet lie that happiness must be chased? Take a moment, breathe, be honest with yourself, and if you, like me, are just trying to find a quieter, stronger way to live, then walk with me. Subscribe, not for me, but for you. Because this path to inner stillness, it's one we take together. Live like someone who's been hurt. but still chooses to be gentle with the world, a fellow Stoic.